Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another pro-revenge Reddit video. In our first story, not pay me for the website I built? Let's jump right in. This happened in the early 2000s. I used to be a freelance front-end developer and a search engine optimization guru. Back then, getting on the front page of Google was pretty simple. Link exchanging was popular but risky. I never did that, but I did have a single website that had serious PageRank clout due to it being linked as a trusted source, directly from one of the top and most trusted websites in the world. I would use this website for the best clients to get their PageRank and search engine position, leapfrogging other older and more trusted websites. One day I was approached by someone I'll call Bob. Now Bob sold travel packages. He needed to revamp his basic existing website with a complex website built with pretty tricky back-end coding. I could do the front end, but I had to hire a back-end developer to build the functionality. Bob had a major launch in a month's time and it had to be ready. I usually ask for 25% deposit up front, but Bob said no, he was stung by the last developer and wasn't going to lose any more money. Now, from the moment I met Bob, my gut was telling me this was going to end badly. The problem was I needed the money and it was worth quite a lot of money for me and the developer. I skipped the deposit on the promise he paid in full before it went on his server. Bob agreed. For an entire month, we worked day and sometimes all night to get this done in his time frame. With a day to spare, we had done it, and I'd never been so proud of what we had achieved. I was honestly excited to show Bob. The next day, I sent the link to my test server and he phoned me to discuss it. Bob said everything looked good, but he was worried his server's PHP version may be too old to run it. I assured him it would, but he said he was too scared it wouldn't and we would scrub our hands of it. We went backwards and forwards, but he was insistent the site has to be uploaded and tested on his server before he parts with a penny. I chatted to my developer, he didn't like it either, but agreed we would upload our work onto his server. Bob gave me the FTP details and server login and I uploaded the site. I told him it was live and then nothing. I sent several emails and then phone calls. The emails went unanswered and the phone went to voicemail. Sensing a major problem, I rushed to my computer, fired up my FTP program to delete our work on his server, and access denied. He had locked us out and the following day he went live with our work. For several days I tried phoning until one morning he answered the phone and said, "Listen, I'm not ever going to pay you and there is nothing you can do about it." Then Bob hung up. Rage was a good word for my feelings. I was shaking while I still held the phone in my hand. For the next hour, my range of expletives was growing in complexity. As I sat there figuring out what to do, it hit me. Revenge will be mine. I registered a new domain name, which was Bob's travel domain name plus sucks at the end. If Bob's website was called bobstravel.com, I had purchased bobstravelsucks.com. I uploaded our work, basically an exact mirror of his live website, onto my new domain. I used my all-powerful mega PageRank domain to link to my new sucks domain. Within a month, my website jumped above his website in Google for every conceivable search phrase you would use for the packages he sold. No matter what you typed in, my site was the first result and his was always below mine. During that month, I created a second website which was Bob's full name with sucks at the end. On this second website, I posted what happened, screenshots of his emails and warnings to everyone what a con man he is. Bob had a somewhat unusual first and last name. Again, within a month, my website was above his own personal website. I then forgot all about it. About 4 months later, I get a cease and desist email from a solicitor's firm. A quick Google showed the solicitor's firm was made up and didn't exist. I replied back with, "I'm not ever going to take them down and there is nothing you can do about it." Every now and then I'd get emails from people he had conned by taking their money for a travel package but never booking their package. I'd put those on both of my websites, making sure those juicy important keywords, his full name and company name, were spread across each negative review. A few more months pass and I get an anonymous email linking to a new domain called My Name Sucks. I'm told to remove my 2 websites and he will remove this new one. A quick search, and what do you know? It isn't even on Google. No one could find it. I reply back for a second time with his comment to me. As each month passes, I'm getting more and more people emailing me saying they've been ripped off. I keep adding them to my website. Turns out the travel agency world is well regulated and they started an investigation into Bob's company using my website as their main tool. I get a call from Bob. Bob is not a happy Bob. In fact, Bob is more of a desperate Bob. Looking at this text now, I know you can almost hear the despair and resentment in Bob's voice. Bob pleads and literally begs me to pull the sites down. Not only is he being investigated by the Travel Agency Association, but he had some very important friends that didn't appreciate the bad press he was causing in their circles. He offers to pay me the money he owed. Nothing more, just what he owed. For the 3rd time, and with a massive smile on my face, I say, "Listen, I'm not ever taking them down, and there is nothing you can do about it." Roll on a few months, and I discover his travel company has been removed from all travel associations. No matter what you typed into Google, my website outranked his, and all the bad reviews on my site were the first thing his potential customers would see. I crippled his business so badly, it went bust. During the collapse, one of his ex-employees contacted me and told me how hard he had worked to get my websites off the first page. He had registered dozens and dozens of other domains in the hopes some would jump ahead. Little did he know, only the top dozen websites in the world could jump it. Apparently, his property was tied into loans on the failing business, and he lost his house too. It took me just about a year to turn his business from a cash cow to a dead cow. Motto of the story: if you ever think to mess with a developer, don't. Updates: my first ever award, thanks for the silver. Wow, thank you for all your awards. Many of you are saying I should have taken the money and not pulled the sites down. At that point, it wasn't about the money. He thought he could simply buy his way out of it after pretending to be a solicitor and then trying the same thing on me. Him knowing I didn't care about the money anymore must have driven him crazy because money was all he cared about. He then knew he could do nothing to stop his business going down the pan, and all he could do was watch it all fall apart around him. Story number 2. The post office said I couldn't file a complaint about the mailman not trying to deliver my packages because I had no proof. So I got proof. For context, in my country, if your package gets sent through the National Post Service, you're basically screwed. It takes 200 years and they never actually deliver it. I don't know how it is in other countries, but here, they are supposed to ring the doorbell if the package doesn't fit the mailbox, and if you don't answer, they then leave a notice and you have to go and pick it up all the way at the post office. The problem is that my mailman doesn't even try to deliver them. He just leaves the notice without even ringing the doorbell and leaves. I've had to pick up nearly every package I've ordered because of that. Well, the last time was my last straw. I was obviously home because of the pandemic. Suddenly, I received a call that immediately hung up. It was so fast that my phone didn't even ring, just showed up as a missed call. No doorbell, nothing. I suspected it was the mailman and ran to the door only to find him inside the truck looking straight at me before driving off. Well, I was pissed and called the post office to file a complaint. I explained the situation, and the lady told me that I couldn't file a complaint because they are only instructed to ring the doorbell, and calling is optional, and I couldn't prove that he didn't ring it. At first, I just avoided using them again at all costs, but then the other day I ordered something and chose a delivery company from the ones listed on the website. Apparently, that company hires the National Post Service to deliver for them here. When I found out, I basically stalked the tracking info for days. It was about 2 weeks late, until one day late at night it said it had arrived in my country, which usually means that the next day it's going to be delivered. The next day, I woke up at 7 a.m. to check. My suspicions were correct. It said out for delivery. I quickly grabbed something to eat, got in my car, and parked right outside my house. Then I waited. And waited, and waited. 6 hours in total until I finally see the post truck pulling up. I grabbed my phone to record and watched as the mailman opened the door already with the notice in hand, slid it inside my mailbox, and turned around. I got out of the car and said, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" He didn't even look at me and said, "Just delivering packages, miss." Then I stood there as this a-hole grabbed his phone to call me and quickly hung up. I smiled as I took my phone out of my pocket and sarcastically stated, "Oh bummer, you didn't even give me time to reach for the phone." He literally turned white, lol, couldn't even speak. I continued, "Now, can you give me my package, please?" He quickly opened the truck, almost tripped, and took out my package. See, wasn't that easier than your whole scheme? He finally manages to say, "Sorry, miss." I turn around and left. He probably thought he got lucky I didn't say anything else, but little did he know that I sent the video to the post office via email attached to my complaint. Well, let's just say I have a new mailman. This one tries to leave 1 second after ringing the doorbell, but at least he rings. This is John from /Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe. And make sure you click on the notifications bell so that YouTube will actually show you my videos. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.